文很正常。对。他够其实，他以为大家在现场，因为他跟他说，没有人。对啊，所以我跟他讲，没有，大家就是观看，但是有一个没有参与这个，他因为这样我们是不是不是那个小的，就是对，到我们做开所以我问他一下，就是可以往这边集中做嘛。那等一下镜头转过来的话，他就会看到
断掉了，
是有人的。
老师断掉讯息，
断掉了，
断掉，
有他这边就可以了。你们就稍微注意一下，因为线上早上还好吗？
啊，还好，
很顺哦，也是Google。
对，早上是Google。
中文。
中文。
可是下面有多？
下面多了一些，
都待了上。
大概也有十几个。
Sorry, excuse me. One more thing. Hello. Yeah. I'm wondering that you use whiteboard. You want to interact with the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean we are now just project your speech through the computer, but they are not online.
So whiteboard is impossible. So forget about whiteboard, right?
Yeah, I think because we are not go online and participate the speech. You know, we just sit here or we sit in front of the computer and we just.
All right. Okay. So forget about the whiteboard. Okay. Forget.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You know, I believed in whiteboard. You know, I'm an old star. You know, I thought that I can make it. All right.
Yeah,
okay.
But if you just want to write something on your whiteboard, you can show your whiteboard to us. That's okay. But I think we cannot interact with you through the whiteboard.
But you can see and you can go.
Yes, we can see your whiteboard and we can see what you write down on the whiteboard. But we are not allowed to interact with the whiteboard. So you what I mean, right?
All right.
Okay. Thank you. 对，他那个对，就是技术上，对，没关系。好 ，OK。
那我就直接
来，你们都是来做，现在做。
Okay. Shall we start? Hi. I just want to make sure. How do I pronounce your name?
ANDREY REZAEV. ANDREY REZAEV.
Okay.
REZAEV. It's like Reza and you. REZAEV.
Okay. So 我们可以开始了。
看店长名字。
Okay. Shall we start?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, Professor REZAEV, and for those audience in front of computer and in person. Welcome to Diversity Thinking, Transdisciplinarity, and Sociology, the annual sociology conference in Taiwan. I'm your moderator in this section. My name is Shoudan Fang. Actually, I'm from Political Science Department. I'm not sociologist. Okay. It's my honor and pleasure to introduce this section's speaker, Professor ANDREY REZAEV. Professor REZAEV is a distinguished professor at St. Petersburg State University. He has many research interests and many publications both in English and Russian. But currently he has worked on research on artificial intelligence and artificial sociality. As you know, there is a widespread penetration of artificial intelligence in everyday life. This phenomenon also raises many philosophical questions in social science. But compared with hard science, there is little research on AI in social science, and Professor REZAEV is one of them. Today he will present his current research in this area. So his topic will be artificial intelligence on the way to artificial sociality, new research agenda for social analytics. So let's welcome Professor REZAEV. Okay?
So I understand the floor is mine, right? I'm online, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you can start.
Thank you. Thank you for such a nice presentation. And definitely, first of all, I would like to continue the tradition of thanking organizers and those who invite me to give this talk and to share the ideas and outcomes of my research. Thank you. Thank you personally, Dr. Yucheng Liu, for inviting me to, and we continue to work together in the co-research project. And let me share my screen with you. And okay, now you see, I believe, you see my presentation. So, as it was announced, artificial intelligence on the way to artificial sociality. New research agenda for social analytics. I want to say that I am a distinguished research professor at St. Petersburg State University Faculty of Sociology, and I'm also a director for USA-Russia Research Lab Tandem. And this part of research has been conducted in the framework of the Tandem Research Lab. Okay, what is my goal today? The overall objective is to try to clarify the basic notion and definitions of studying AI and artificial intelligence. Also, I hope that I can make it a bit clear the direction towards studying artificial intelligence and artificial sociality in a system of coordinates by social scientists, and to convince those who participate today in the discussion to have a look at the publication I'm about to present and to raise new questions. This is really important, new questions. And here are the publications that I'd like to present. That's the book that has been published, already second edition. It's Artificial Intelligence on the Way to Artificial Sociality, New Research Agenda for Social Analytics, exactly like we are trying to discuss today in this presentation. Also, if you have a look to the paper in the Public Opinion Monitor journal, it's one of the leading journals in Russian Federation, 12 theses on artificial intelligence and artificial sociality. In 2018, in the same journal, we published with my co-author, Dr. Trigubova, Are Sociologists Ready for Artificial Sociality? Current Issues and Future Prospects for Studying Artificial Intelligence in the Social Sciences. So this is the 2018, and it was after Toronto ISA, International Sociological Association Conference. So this is the ongoing project, and we are looking forward to continue this project in the next World Congress of ISA in Australia, that is supposed to be in 2023. So let me start with the first idea that I want to discuss today. I mean, it's pretty obvious that studying artificial intelligence in computer sciences, natural sciences, or engineering, it's very in the full swing, and a lot of publication in those domains are happening every day, every minute. Yet in social sciences, we have quite, I wouldn't say that we didn't start, but we are close to it. we just started to examine artificial intelligence in the social sciences. So it's not a problem debate, it's a fact. But what to do about it is a problem. So why is that? Why sociologists start off artificial intelligence studies? Back in November of 1985, Steve Woolger published a paper, Why Not in Sociology of Machines? The Case of Sociology and Artificial Intelligence. Yet, there is no solid sociological tradition of studying artificial intelligence phenomena up to now. Look, almost 35, 36 years ago, the paper, Why Not a Sociology of Machines? Why? I believe that part of the answer to this question is what question has been raised by Woolger. He raised the question, are artificial intelligent machines sufficiently like humans to be treated as subject of sociological inquiry? So this question directed researchers into discussions of narrow artificial intelligence and general artificial intelligence. The narrow or soft and general or strong. I believe that, and this is our working hypothesis we're trying to test, that we need new fundamental research questions, new theoretical and methodological principles to approach AI. And because we are living in a time of artificial sociality and an online culture. And what might be, I believe, what kind of a new research question and what exactly I mean. Suppose we'll return back a little bit and at the mid of the previous century when in the Dartmouth College seminar, Steve Woolger and the people were introduced the word artificial intelligence. And so they were trying to answer the question how to reduce to pure data social interconnectedness, the system of social relations. They didn't even ask this question. They didn't even look at the possibility how to reduce and whether it's possible to reduce to pure data what generates society, what makes society. And I mean connectedness, relations, and the really important things. So let me try, I don't know whether I can make it, but let me try to go to, you see me now, right? So what I want to do, I want to share with you the Blackboard, and I don't know, do you see the Blackboard? Can you see the Blackboard now?
No, we see you.
You see me, that's also nice. That's also good. So let me somehow try to organize. And this is, do you see now?
No.
Okay. And why is that? Nobody knows, right? You continue to see me.
Yes.
And I have some manipulations. I have some manipulation with the computer, and so it says let's start, and again nothing, right? It's again nothing, but maybe now. Do you see now?
No.
No blackboard, no whiteboard in this case.
No.
All righty, that's bad. Okay, let's come back to the PowerPoint presentation, and that's not so good.
We see some message.
Okay. You see it right now?
No.
You see it? Huh? Do you see my presentation now, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let's continue with the PowerPoint. I wanted to put on the whiteboard some important things. And important things, it's about Homo sapiens. So if you put like right HS, like, do you see my cursor, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, oh my goodness. So if you'll just like the line and put two determinants here, two pillars Homo sapiens depends upon. First is natural, biological, or nature, and the second is culture or nurture. So two pillars, fundamental pillars that distinguish Homo sapiens from all other species, right? Natural, or Homo sapiens is an animal. So Homo sapiens belongs to biology, belongs to nature, and at the same time, Homo sapiens belongs to specific culture. It's a product of nurture, of cultural activities. Also, what distinguished Homo sapiens from other animals, from other biological and species is rationality, ratio. So sapiens exactly means a rationality, a ratio. But also, Homo sapiens, emotional animal. Homo sapiens, imagination, has imaginations. So, not only rationality, not only intelligence, not only rational or ability to speak, say, but ability to emotionally be involved into rational thinking and imagination of what are the products of your rationality, or what your emotions, or where emotions can bring you. So nature and culture plus rationality, emotions, and imagination, that basic features that make Homo sapiens distinguished, okay? And Homo sapiens, on the other side, Homo sapiens is also, cannot exist alone. It is connected to another Homo sapiens who has also rationality, emotions, and imagination based on different natural and cultural determinants. I don't want to make it a little bit or so philosophical or so theoretically, yet it's important thing to understand why do we need different and new questions about artificial intelligence and artificial sociality. Once again, Homo sapiens, nature and culture determines his or her rationality, emotions, and imaginations. Homo sapiens needs to be in contact, connected to another Homo sapiens, with another rationality, another emotions, imaginations, and another cultural determinants. And this goes on and on and on. Okay, so if you write like a timeline, right, 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens had the same thing, the same determinants. Yet in the 20th century, and then in the century we are living now, two words appeared. It's artificial intelligence and the internet. So it's a product of the Homo sapiens. I don't want to put it the definition now, so it will be the next. I will talk about in a minute. But what I want to stress here, that in the 20th century, the end of the 20th century, and specifically in the beginning of this 21st century, Homo sapiens has entered into a new era of artificial intelligence and online culture. Online culture, it's the next one. So also one word about notions and definitions. to simulate, it's not the same thing as to duplicate. For example, people can both simulate and duplicate human arms and legs and hearts, like in medicine, to make them plastic and to exchange with organic biological ones in human bodies. But such things are impossible, are simply impossible to do with the brain. Why? Because people do not know how brain works and how the brain produces consciousness. So we simply do not know. We've got approaches, we've got something, some great attempts, but still we are not even close to understand how brain works and how it produces consciousness. Okay, another thing is to remember that to compute, it's not the same thing as to think. To compute, to calculate, to compute, it might be part of thinking, because without comparison, thinking is unthinkable. It's the motto of Gislin's. Okay? And another thing about notions and definitions, remember that Alan Turing called his famous article Computing Machinery and Intelligence. Why didn't he call it? Why didn't he put it here, computers? Computers and intelligence. And the answer is very simple. At the time when he wrote the paper, the word computer meant the person who computes. A human being who does an operation, pretty much the same as the driver, person who drives the car, or as the guitar player. But at the time, once again, at the time, the word computer meant a person whose objective is to compute. Now computer means a type of machinery, not a human being who computes. So we are getting into the situation when we need to think, to understand what AI is as a phenomenon, as a problem, as a concept. Okay, and we distinguish in our work, in our book, and in our hypothesis that AI is a combination of these three P's: phenomenon, problem, and phrase. So, as a phenomenon, as something that appears to us in everyday life, AI cannot be revealed in any other way. It cannot be revealed in any other way but in the form of materialized products. So in the everyday life, we see AI as a device. So like an example, in real life, we don't see water as H2O. In real life, we see water as a liquid, as in ocean, or as in tap water, or as a rain, or even as ice. But it's not like H2O. It's not the same thing as AI as a phenomenon for us. It is materialized in devices and products. As a research problem, artificial intelligence absolutely raises philosophical questions, like whether it's possible or not, what exactly it brings to the society, artificial intelligence. It calls to reconsider the mainstream vision of social reality. For example, the social reality that we were engaged into the history of humankind, it was universal, and Western tradition was always universal tradition to find out something that unites, universality or universal. You know that Facebook is already Facebook only in the social media, but the corporation calls metaverse. So the reality in the 20th and 21st century, metaversal, not universal, not coming into one, but different kind of reality that, and definitely we can reconsider. We can to understand how to study these different kinds of reality. And as a research problem, artificial intelligence appears differently in different sciences. That's why it's all another part of an answer to the question of why sociologists are not ready and do have so little attempt to study artificial intelligence. And as a phrase or the concept, as a notion, as a definition, artificial intelligence is not yet defined. So if somebody comes and says to you that, okay, I know what is artificial intelligence, well, take it seriously, but try to look at this critically. That's why I'm going to present my definition that I propose, and we propose it in the book we already published. So try to get it critically. Look at this definition and try to discuss and debate and develop it further. So as a working definition for us, artificial intelligence is an ensemble or the system. Ensemble, it's a better word for the system. It's like a, excuse me. It's a system, and the ensemble of rational, logical, and formalized rules, instrumental rules that were developed and coded by human beings. And those rules organize the processing activities to simulate rational structures and to fabricate and reproduce goal-oriented practices, as well as the mechanism for constructing further coding and decision-making. Once again, this is the working definition of artificial intelligence that we presented to the scientific community to discuss and to develop further. What are the fundamental characteristics that underline our definitions? Five, I put it here, five, and it's very simple. AI is a product of human beings. So it's not something that came from somewhere, that was brought to us. Or it's not inherently asocial. No, human beings, those are the causal, the causation for artificial intelligence to appear in the world. Second, the substantial nature of AI is not something objectifiable as a material gimmick. The essence, AI essence, manifests itself as a set of rational set of rules, but not as an attained appliance per se. As I said, like water, you can see water as a liquid without taste, but it's H2O. Third, artificial intelligence is a set of instrumentally coded rules. Those rules are coded by human beings, and it's coded. Those rules are coded in order to emulate, to produce, to imitate intellectual activities of human beings. And the fifth, emulated intellectual constructions make it possible for AI to further independently code and make intellectual or goal-oriented decisions, not necessarily with the help of from human beings. Okay, once again, let me return once back to working definition, because it's a really important thing. Artificial intelligence is a set of rules, and this set of rules might, so they emulate rational and intellectual structure, and reproduce goal-oriented practices. And those practices might further coding and make decisions without help from the human being. Once again, it's not an asocial phenomenon. It's and again, it's his or its artificial intelligence essence. It's not objectifiable material product. Its essence instrumentally coded rules, and those coded rules reproduce, simulate human activities that might be developed further independently. So another thing that we need to, is it okay? So are you with me? Because I unfortunately I see only I don't see you, the audience, despite of the fact that I'm here in Japan and in Taiwan. It's very close, and you can interrupt me anytime you'd like to, and if you have questions or clarifications, please feel free to do it. I know that we will have a Q&A session, but you can interrupt me anytime you wish. Okay, so about the definition of artificial sociality. So on the one hand, artificial intelligence appears, and we see it as a technological device designed to solve tasks. So it's very simple. Artificial intelligence and intelligence is something that comes to help people to resolve a problem, to resolve some specific task, okay? So human beings, what they're doing, they are trying to invest into products, into products that will help them to organize their life better, and to be easier, and to be more efficient and sufficient. So, but technologies that initially were focused on instrumental tasks, they become an environment and participants of human interactions, and active participants of human interaction. I just put here the Winston Churchill's words, who said that we shape our buildings, and thereafter they shape us. Or compare, so people are free to choose this or that train, but what you are on the train, you are on the train rules of the game system, and you must wait till the next stop to be again free to choose between trains. Here it is, here to compare about Facebook, when you die, but you can continue to stay. But I will return to this idea a little bit later. Okay, so artificial sociality, artificial intelligence, artificial sociality, online culture, those new phenomena that needs to be, number one, to be defined, to find out what kind of research question they bring to scholars. They need to find how and what to do with all this phenomena in our everyday life. Artificial sociality, as I say, remember, so Homo sapiens, like nature, culture, ratio, emotions, imaginations, all of them, and they are connected with artificial intelligence. When you try to get a new browser or a new online system, a robot asks you, please confirm that you are not a robot. Can you imagine? So the AI asks you, please confirm that you are not me, that you are not the robot. And not Homo sapiens has to find out who is the AI, but AI asks you to say that you are a human being. So artificial sociality is interconnectedness, dependence, and I would say now what we have, interdependence. Homo sapiens, people, depend upon artificial intelligence, upon online culture. And artificial definitely depends upon human beings. But the point is, we are really dependable upon each other. Okay. So if you remember I don't want to just to move from one slide to another, so like to continue my presentation. New agenda, remember the presentation, the title is the New Problems, New Agenda for Social Analytics. So the point is, for social analytics, it doesn't matter whether or not artificial intelligence will be invented. I mean, exactly as it was, because in the sociological tradition or in the social scientist literature, you've got research on narrow AI, strong AI, or artificial intelligence exists today and that it helps us, but we are afraid of something that will appear in the years to come, and machines, technologies, AIs will conquer the human beings. So, but for social analytics, doesn't matter whether or not will be invented. So it's not the question to ask now, but the point is how to explore the interaction between humans and existing AIs. I mean, how to measure, what to study, how to study. Shall we use the same techniques, theoretical and methodological frameworks that were developed during the existence of sociological sciences, or shall we invent something else, or shall we depend upon computer sciences or any other sciences? Again, we have the situation when interaction, interconnectedness, interdependence between humans and machines, between humans and already developed artificial intelligent technologies, they interact. And the point is that this interaction started in order to help human beings, but the situation is quite an opposite so far. Human beings are help artificial intelligence, machines, robots to help them. And for example, that's my little. Let me give you my little story. I'm a visiting professor here at College of Sociology, Rikyo University in Tokyo. But the first time I came here in 2018, I remember when I gave a when I had a class, a technician came into my class and said, "Professor, you know what? The computer is recording your class, but it can't make a left or right turn. Will you please stay here in this circle so you will help AI or computer to record and catch you properly?" So starting to help us, to help students to give them opportunity to see recorded class, we still are dependent upon them. We need to stay in this circle in order to give them a chance to help us. So artificial relations, or relations between humans and existing AI, and how to measure it and where to go to study, it's important, and in fact we simply don't know how to do it. Okay, so here is the reality of human-machine interdependence. It's a new reality of artificial sociality. Specifically, this new reality of human-machine interdependence comes to fore in the time of metaversal understanding of realities. We need to rethink and to understand what is reality, what exactly we mean when we say real life, real situation. For example, am I real for you now or am I not? How do you know that I'm in Tokyo? So you believe in my words, you have to understand, or how people, so quarantine, say in Taiwan, people who come to Taiwan now need to stay in quarantine. Actually, in Japan, the same thing. So they have to upload the applications but to upload application to the smartphone, okay? So in order to check where they are. But it's not where people are, but where the device is. So in this case, you need to show and to have device, like to make a video recording and to get into the system of coordinate that makes sure that you are real in this place and this time. So human-machine interdependence in the new reality, it's a great problem. It's a problem that has to be taken seriously, specifically in terms of theoretical and methodological approaches. What kind of a theory? So this is the important thing. What kind of theoretical foundation we need to base our research? That's really very important. So, another thing that I'd like to mention here. So, human-machine interdependence and new questions about values, shared values. So you can't, if you've got the reality of human relations or relations in the society without artificial intelligence technologies, you need to talk, discuss, and definitely to study the values, okay? Now, how about shared values, shared norms, and more important, shared values between humans and machines, whether it's possible at all? Can we use the word values in order to describe relations between humans and machines? And then you might have a situation when you don't know that you are related to a human being. You say machine or artificial intelligence can be related to another artificial intelligence. And and again, shall we, in this case, talk about values? Okay, so it's not about values between man and woman or woman and a woman, seniors and juniors, but machines and a man, machines and a woman, seniors and machines. And how to study it. What exactly are the targets of our research? What exactly the research questions supposed to be? How to do it? And so completely new terms, new paths for social analytics. Of course, sociological theory doesn't have so far foundations to do this research. So I put here an example of self-driving cars. So how to tell the AI that rides a car, be careful. What exactly that means, be careful? So be careful because you're seeing a human driver, because human driver, as we remember, has emotions, imaginations, rationalities, and you, as an artificial intelligence, as a set of rules, you're oriented towards to resolve specific problems, either to stop because of something you see with your sensors, or is it to go further or to make a left, right? but what exactly means be careful, be prepared, right? So, it is easy to have self-driving cars without humans around, but almost impossible to have self-driving cars and to put them into the city with other humans who drive their cars. Okay. Let me point out another. Is it, or am I too fast, or am I too slow, or shall I do? I need a feedback. You see what I mean? So I need, because I continue to just to go on.
It's okay. Okay.
Is it
okay?
It's okay with time. Is it okay with you see the presentation? You hear me good. So far so good. So it goes. Okay.
Yes.
But again, I encourage you, if you have questions or interruptions. So I'd like to have an interruption in this stream of my talking. I do prefer discussion, but hopefully we'll have in the a Q answers and questions and answers session. Okay, so here is the link to see that 7.7 billion of people live, according to United Nations, were in 2019. Number of smart devices in 21, 13.8 billion. Okay, so practically twice. And the total installed base of Internet of Things by 2025, and in 4 years, it will be triple, say, like 30.9 billion units worldwide. It means that now we have already more smart devices than human beings. Definitely, when it comes to sociological imagination and sociological sciences tell us that we need to take it seriously, to see that in Asia it's one thing, in Africa another one, in North America the third thing, in Latin America another, and so on and so forth. But this way or another, smart devices, we have more than people. Okay, so interdependence. It's not about be afraid of or something. We need to study this. We need to understand what to do and where to send our questions, and where and how to go further in understanding this new reality. Okay, so again, pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, it's also another thing that help us to make new actions and to see differently to new reality. Why should one talk to a doctor, to a person about vaccine today? Well, so why? Why? Because doctor cannot read everything, cannot get all the information about all these vaccines that we have already in the world. But computer read everything. Computer has information about ingredients, side effects, efficacy. Computer can make comparisons, etc., etc. Computer now can test physical conditions. Computer can produce arguably more, and it's arguably, but a lot of research show that really the AI make more judgment and recommendation better than human beings. So why then to talk to a doctor, human being? Why not to talk to AI and to discuss what kind of a vaccine, when, and how many doses, and what's the what kind really do you need, Pfizer or AstraZeneca, and if you're, depending upon age and health status. So the question is, why to the doctor? Because of the tradition or because of what? Again, I don't say that you don't go to the doctor. No, no way. Quite an opposite. I'm asking the question that we need to raise in the time of human-machine interdependence. Okay, so we need to have a clear answer. We need to know the limits and taboos where we can implement artificial intelligence techniques and where we cannot. If we'll stay and continue to say, okay, AI help people to be more efficient in their jobs, it's one thing. Another thing is AI has AI must have some limits and must have some taboos in terms of interference in the everyday life of society. For example, say in sexual life or somewhere in the house, and any biological and cultural, remember, biological determinant, natural and cultural. And in those determinants, these fundamentals, we might, excuse me, we might have problems of organizing of artificial intelligence. So this is again the same thing, but let me come to another important, very important thing that I'd like to discuss with you today. So the development of artificial sociality are framed by the 3 P's of capitalism. So I call this 3 P's, like private property, price, and profit. We live in the situation that the relations between human beings are based on those capitalist reality. Private property, price, or market, if you'd like, and profit. So the capitalism that we have today is the kind of capitalism that is empty of purpose. What is the purpose of capitalism? It has nothing but just to produce more profit, to keep to hold the private property, and to do markets. I don't want to go into all this economic or political economy or macroeconomic, microeconomic foundations, but we need to understand that artificial intelligence and artificial sociality will increase the capitalism's emptiness, or it might increase its social well-being if it is social mission-driven capitalism. If we'll see that artificial intelligence helps people but not companies, helps people but not to do profit, helps Homo sapiens as animals that can and should do something about the reality of everyday life. For example, there are a lot of studies, Shushan Zubov studies, like surveillance capitalism. So corporations, states, even private citizen can surveillance, can organize surveillance, can do it with harm, and can do it with real consequences, with bad consequences, and we cannot stop and say that, or just close the eyes and say it's not a problem. It is a problem. It is a problem of different kind of capitalisms, with the word in the plural that we have in the world. So different kind of understanding what the profit's supposed to be, and how the profit can be organized in order to in our everyday life activities. So artificial intelligence might be might help to make life better, or might continue to do something with private with capitalism's vices. For example, we are afraid of hackers. Okay, so the idea of hacking and hackers that's not really ideas about them, but it's a problem, a real problem that has to be resolved somehow. People are trying to organize into specific organs what to do with computer hacking. However, how about hacking the human beings? How about the ability to hack your brain, to hack and to get into your into your life? So not to hack your computer, but to hack your body, to hack your brain, to intrude into reality of your subconscious life, into reality of your understanding what is good and what is bad. So, and this is possible because of two different things. Number one, the data. So enormous data can be gathered on the daily basis. Every second they gather the data. I'm recording this. You recording this. Who records this presentation? It will be stored somewhere. It will be stored not for like 2-3 days, but it might be stored I don't know for how many. And everything that is collected might be stored, and then suddenly when somebody or some organization will need, it can be uploaded. People are saying that the reality of to upload and download will cost nothing. Yes, it will cost nothing in terms of education. Education needs something more, as well as our conferences, our scholarly conferences. Without the reality of interaction, without the reality of being not only organized talk, but small talk in corridors and in cafeterias after presentation and after classes. So the reality of emotional, imaginational, and a reality of a rational interconnectedness between human beings without being interrupted or without mediation of artificial intelligence technologies. This is the important thing. However, the reality, as I already said, is a bit different. And social analytics, I'm trying to use the word social analytics, but today, so we can use the sociologists, social scientists, humanists, and people who are trying to understand the reality of society. So let me bring you one example here, just like about capitalism. So to continue the line of capitalism. So such example as digital remains, okay? You can go online saying you're very active in Facebook as a social network, and you die, but you continue to stay on Facebook as an active part. So they projected that by the 2050 in Facebook, in social media, there will be more dead persons than alive. So it's not scientific, it's not a science fiction what I'm talking about. It's the reality of nowadays. it is a growing industry in terms of AI. So you go and see the book by J.H. Harrington, so Digital Remains. So AI will replace you, and that's already happening. Specifically for young, and this is another thing of hacking a person. A young ones who lose their loved ones, their parents, and they communicate with them or communicated with them through social media and Facebook. They continue, and the market comes and says, you can continue with your dad who passed away recently, but you can continue with social media. And here it is, very simple thing. Just go write, and artificial intelligence will reproduce. And we need to do this. You know that there are today the companies produce the stars or pop singers who passed away, and they reproduce them, and they can make it like continue. Suppose that they are alive, okay, but they are alive in reality, in augmented reality, in metaverse, right? Not in universal reality that has been before, has been a home for human beings, but in meta reality, and this is real, they would say. So you know that you can have all kinds of activities that were specifically for societal reproduction now in okay, so what I'm thinking right now about it's about arts. You've got paintings by AI that simulate again the Rembrandts or Picasso or any great painters, and it's already reality. Okay. Also, you've got the thinking about capitalism. You've got money, and here comes very important thing. Definitely money. It's ontological, so it's epistemically subjective thing. And when we've got epistemically subjective things, and we've got the online money or money that are not real, that you cannot touch. So it brings the again the necessity to understand not only the interdependence that I was talking today about, but to understand capitalism, to understand private property, prices and profit. Somebody wanted, okay, because hello?
Hello?
Yeah, yeah. I don't see, it's like a frozen something. Okay. Do you see me, right?
Yes.
Yes. But,
okay,
no PowerPoint.
Go ahead. Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Please go ahead. So what was the question or something?
We can see your PowerPoint, your slide. We only see you, but not your PowerPoint.
I need my PowerPoint. All right. So, okay, at least, yeah, I see someone. I see the audience, you know, because, you know, I'm in old school, you know, I really believe that much better to see those who are talking, you are talking to. And I understand that you might record this and then to see it somewhere afterwards. Okay, so let me come to wrap. So how about time? So how much time do we have? We have some time. Okay. So like to make it more argumentative maybe, or more generalized. The reality of artificial intelligence and artificial sociality is developing in such a way that those who are studying artificial intelligence, artificial reality, have no theoretical basis. They don't have the understanding and reality of looking at the phenomena that are developing in the completely new situation. But all the vices, and let me go back to my screen, and it's already conclusion, but I want to go to the reality. Okay, transdisciplinarity. Okay. So you don't see? Do you see or not?
No screen. Just you.
No screen. Oh, that's also good. That let me. Where it is. What I want to share with you the third thesis in my 12 theses, that AI is an inherently non-disciplinary project that brings anti-disciplinarity to academic research. So the reality of understanding artificial intelligence needs to be not to be separate into computer science, mathematics, natural sciences, engineering, social sciences that are, in the last and the back. But it has to be non-disciplinary or multidisciplinary, people say, or cross-disciplinary. But in my understanding, potentially it has to be anti-disciplinary. Anti-disciplinary in terms that if you're talking about cross-disciplinary, multidisciplinary, still you have borders. Still you have to distinguish. Still you have to put on the table the reality. There are different methods, different theoretical borders, different theoretical approaches. But anti-disciplinarity means that you need some insight, some imagination also, some intuitives. So the breakthroughs of research, it's not only rationality, it's not only to compute. So like Einstein, who is not, so yes, he had definitely to compute, he had a lot of things, but every computer today is doing better and quicker and faster and more accurately than Einstein, but a computer cannot do this inside, that strike, okay? So, and when you are in disciplinary borders, when you're in disciplinary system of coordinates, it's not a good thing. You are trying to look at what has been done before, but we are in the situation where we need to look further, and we need to understand what we will need in the future, because the future will be even more unpredictable for us. Unpredictable in terms of how artificial intelligence will be developed, how artificial sociality will interfere into metaverse reality, how online culture will affect traditional culture, religion, values, how online culture will affect capitalism. So to study, we really need to have new students, by the way, new professors, so for example, professors from hard sciences, from computer sciences, this or that way they're saying, well, you're a sociologist, what are you a philosopher, what do you know, what do you understand in artificial intelligence? But they are more open. They are talking today about human-centered, that's Stanford, HI, they call it HI, Human-Centered AI Institute, developed by the Chinese, by the way, origin famously, and she's very good. And at Stanford High Institute, they are developing human-centered AI, and this from computer scientists. They want to invite, they want to look, but still, it's just the beginning. So we need more and more and more. Okay, another thesis that I like to, okay, for social analytics, I don't have, well, wait, what I wanted to, right, so human-machine independence is also about trust. So it's not only about math. And this another thing goes with the biases that I'd like to, yeah, I just touched the idea, no AI areas in society, but with the biases and what is really important today is the algorithmic auditing companies. So development of artificial intelligence is normally today Silicon Valley oriented. So it develops, despite of the fact you might have there Chinese, Brazilians, Indians, you might have Japanese over there, but still it's rules of the game developed by the Silicon Valley. So they are oriented toward a specific system of values. They are not, so they are not oriented toward the values that suppose in Latin America or in Africa or in Southeast Asia, for example. So, and the biases that can, and there are a lot of books and research showing that we've got a lot of biases in this. Okay, so this is really important, and let me come to the conclusion and how to do it here, so you to see it. Okay, so my question that I've started was the question, what to do about widespread artificial intelligence technologies in everyday life. What to do with exponential growth in research and publications in hard sciences, but not so in social sciences. So what to do in the situation that coexists and that is transforming into interdependence of human beings and machines. So my answer here is, for this presentation, is it's both question of theory first and practice. It's both question of theoretical constructions. We don't have theoretical and methodological constructions, and we do not have practical and field research. And I want to praise once again the joint project that we developed with Professor Yu Cheng Liu, and we will continue this, and we are trying to do for 4 years. And we need to do practical field research and theoretical construction. So the cross and transdisciplinary that I said, and the new researcher, that's a really important thing that we face, and we need to act now. And social and an approach that research of AI and IS we advocate, it's quite simple. Social life is not about things. Social life is not even about AI. Our life is about human beings. It's about people. We are still in the reality when those who study artificial intelligence, they try to find similarities between human beings and robots or artificial intelligence. But the point is quite an opposite. We don't need to find similarities. We need to find differences. We need to find and to understand that human beings are not the robots. Robots are not the human beings. They are not duplicate. Artificial intelligence simulate, reproduce human intelligence, but not duplicate. It cannot duplicate because we simply don't know how brain works. We simply don't know how the consciousness exists. And well, we know we can't see, but how the brain produces consciousness, right? Or whether the brain produces it at all, right? So we need to understand and to find out the differences and where. And my belief is that social scientists, humanists, and those who are trained or were trained and will be trained in the system of coordinate of social sciences and humanities need to make stress on taboos and limits of artificial, if at all. So, but I believe they have to be. And it's not about the authoritarianism or something. It's about the reality of cultural life. It's about the reality of everyday life of people who are not the robots, who do not have to be robots. It's not about the reality of smart cities and the reality of apartments that are constructed in order to help robots, to help you, to clean the room, to bring you coffee or something. So you are not organizing the environment for you, for people, but for them, for robots, for machines to help you. Okay? So this is really important, and I appreciate really that Taiwanese sociological associations invited me to share with you guys ideas and outcomes of our research. So this is again anti-disciplinarity, but so this the last sentences, if you will see further progress in AI and AI's research, anti-disciplinary research, in my understanding. So once again, the publication I wanted to make that I already said, this is Artificial Intelligence on the book, and the 12th thesis. This is a short piece that is published here. And so what question? Like I said, read further, think deeper, take care of your immune system, natural and artificial. So that's what I wanted to present, and now I'm more than happy to get your questions and to continue our discussions. I understand that we have some 10 minutes, don't we? Or more?
Okay. Thank you. Shall we open to the audience? Do we have any questions? Oh.
Yes, yes.
Okay. But you can, maybe you can, maybe you will help us. So the question might be in Chinese, and then you will translate if it's possible. If people would feel it's better to ask in Chinese. Does it make sense?
Yeah. So do you hear me? Can you hear
yes,
me? Okay. Actually, I have my own questions. Is that okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I have many questions. Okay, maybe. Yeah, I think I agree a lot with your idea of artificial sociality, because I'm also interested in how to develop the idea. And I also think that it is important to rethink about the relationship between machines and humans. Yeah, so, but for your speech, actually I have some questions. First of all, that you you said that artificial intelligence is to improve. In your slides, you talk about that. To improve reality of human life. So I'm wondering that what do you mean by improve? I mean, do you believe that AI can improve something or else? And for following the questions that I also want to know, what do you mean by a reality of human life? Yeah, I mean, what kind of reality you refer to, or yes, that's the first question. So, yeah, and the second question is that when you're talking about the values, so you're talking about we need new values, new norms, new shared values between human and machines. I'm also wondering that, so do you think that we also need alternative ethics? Yeah, we know that the value sometimes connected closely to ethics. Yeah, so do you think that we also need alternative ethics for the relations between human and the machines? If so, what will they be? So, I mean, in your opinion, what kind of ethics that we need? Okay. And I think the third question will be, sorry?
No, go ahead. Go, good,
Yeah,
good.
So you have write them down all? Right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I put it down. Okay.
Yes,
I wrote.
okay. And the last question will be that, you know, I like the idea, your idea that you think that artificial sociality will increase the emptiness of capitalism. Yes, in your slides also. And I'm wondering that either this one and you think that artificial intelligence can also increase, or might increase, and in your words, it might increase social welfare, social well-being. I think it's your word, social well-being. If it is societal mission-driven capitalism, yeah, I think I want to know that. How do you mean societal mission-driven capitalism? Is that equal to welfare states or socialisms? I don't know. Yeah, that's my questions. Okay, thank you.
In fact, so it's a bit like the first and the third one, and it's a little bit like related. But maybe, you know, the word to improve, I would say, so artificial intelligence is to augment, is to empower. It's to give human beings more power in resolving this or that techniques. So to put it simply, intelligence means to solve problems, okay? Artificial, say, if you are a driver, intelligently to solve problems if you're tired, okay? Artificial intelligence cannot be tired, okay? You are tired, so it helps you. It improves, okay, maybe the word improves doesn't sound sufficiently right, so, but maybe to augment, to empower, to give you more, something that you don't need to stimulate your biological foundations, right? You will get the help from your brain that you developed in order to help you, okay, to augment you, to empower you, right? So this also means that if you are doing, just a third question, right? So if you want to augment, to empower a human being wants to empower himself or herself, so it's to empower it like for the social needs, but not for the money, not for the profit, not for the corporation that will be getting more and more, for more and more, more and more, for more and more, but for better and better, or to help people who are in need. That's the idea. So artificial intelligence can empower human beings in order to give, but not to get, in order to help nature, to help Mother Nature, but not to take off. And exactly when you said, asked about new ethics, definitely it has to do with Mother Nature, something. Definitely it has to do with an understanding that human beings are, they cannot, and it's not about, to go to other planets and to use artificial intelligence and to augment into as a chip and to live for thousands of years. Human beings are natural, biological animals that are dependent upon Mother Nature, that are dependent, they have to live, they will live if they want to continue to live on the planet Earth, and they need new ethics, alternative if you'd like to. Of course, the ethics of like sustainability, so tricky words and already developed in this, but it has to have it has to be developed in terms of new ethics specifically, and I don't want to touch this climate change and not to be in those buzzwords, but the reality of understanding that human beings have biological, physiological, if you like to, animalistic, natural as nature. So they have to return. And all the power that artificial intelligence technology brings to human beings need to be converted to help Mother Nature to survive and to be somehow, because human beings brought a lot of harm to Mother Nature, and that's new ethics has to be returned. On the other hand, new ethics, it's about different cultures. It's about artificial intelligence. It's an international project. It cannot be the project of one nation, one state, one corporation. It's by the definition. You cannot do this by concentrated forces or efforts in Silicon Valley or in China or in India or in Russia or in Japan somewhere. So it has to be the project really international, meaning multicultural in terms of different ethical traditions, different ethical foundations, including, say, people from Middle East or people who have different understanding of or different vision and feeling of values, real values. That's their values. It's not necessarily Western values have to be implemented over there, or artificial intelligence has to bring to them new Western values in new angle. So yes, but I'm not sure that it has to be the word ethics, because it has also to have something with technologies, and it's the point of why I said that social scientists, scholars, and humanists, they need to bring ideas. We simply don't know how to do it, how to bring the reality of values. This fundamentally famous example of autonomous cars, egoistic cars or altruistic cars. So designers or artificial designers design a car that if it sees 5 people, or they might kill, something happens, and the artificial intelligence has to decide whether to kill 5 people or to go to and to kill itself in order to save those 5. Okay, so this is the fundamental philosophical questions for more than 2,000 years, and so the market decides. So market has to develop 2 cars, one altruistic and another one egoistic, and consumers decide whether they will buy altruistic or egoistic cars. So if they want to kill themselves, they buy altruistic self-driving cars. Or if they want to be egoistic, that they do this. Okay, so it's a kind of a value we need, or this kind of a this is the market-oriented ethics, right? So it's not so easy. It's not really so easy, specifically when we don't know how to define artificial intelligence. So my definition that I propose and I develop in my books is it's a set of rules. So in this case, you can even imagine, or you can suggest that market is also artificial intelligence. You know, it's a set of rules that that resolves specific instrumental goals, and where you've got human beings, or you cannot. So that's why my definition tries to unite and to continue this line of an argument. So that's how I would address your questions.
Okay, we have 7 more minutes. We can still open to 1 or 2 more questions. Any questions? Okay.
Shin Pan, Assistant Professor of Sociology at Institute University. My question is about the definition of reality. We know that the machine learning, we can apply deep learning and machine learning to simulate a lot of new reality based on real life data. For instance, like a couple of months ago, I saw the news of like an AI technology corporation helped a mother with whose daughter just died like month ago. So they based on her deceased daughter's video recording, voice recording, and a lot of writings. So they kind of simulate her daughter's like interactions with her mother too. So on one hand, this is supposed to help the mother to weather through the bereavement, right? But on the other hand, that could make her indulge in the fabricated reality. Then that gives her a hard time to really see the reality that her daughter is no longer alive. So when you talk about the reality, so in what way that's the reality and the fabricated reality could help improve our life, ethnically speaking. Thank you.
Okay, so you just continue the line. There's digital remains, right? So this is the idea of so this is the growing industry. This is one of the really growing industry of how it is.
Well, it's more than digital remains. Digital remains are like real thing that we have produced in the past, right? But deep learning can fabricate new reality. Like we could assume what they could possibly say or do when they're still alive based on their previous records. So it's a new reality. We cannot really say it's a fake thing, because they're basically based on the real life records. But it's not fake in that sense, but it's not real that the person who is now no longer alive physically. So I would call that new reality, I guess. I don't know if there's a better term to describe it.
No. It's okay. Okay. So definitely, I see your concern. I understand. I intuitively understand the question but I'm afraid I don't have the right answer, or I don't have something that might help you to understand this situation. And the thing is very simple here, and that's also Yucheng asked about reality. So what exactly it means real, or that's my first point. So we need to find out new definitions for the basic real things, because real means you can touch. Can I touch, or real? I can stand, and am I real or not? So whether me or artificial or maybe bought, here, you know, specifically now in the pandemic time when you have classes online and when students hide behind the camera and you don't see you don't see them, but you hear their voices and you don't know where it is. So reality of being human means reality of being emotional. Reality of being emotional needs you to either to have a sort of a touching, so to touch something, to get something in common. And as I said, I'm an old school. I don't smoke now, but if you remember, like 30 years ago, people who smoked, they were standing together. They didn't talk, they didn't say anything, but they were smoking, okay? And something was between them, okay? So if you smoke sitting here and you smoke sitting in Taipei, it won't work. But you know, if you're in the visible abroad, you're close enough, so something is already. So the point is, for human beings, normally, as I said, rationality, emotions, and imagination. On the other side, human beings are social animals, if you like. So they do not exist without other social animals who have their emotions. They need this emotional involvement, right? So the reality of social existence is the reality of emotional existence, if you want, imaginational existence. It's a reality of consciousness. Intelligence always resolve problems, but human beings not only resolve, they construct problems, okay? So if your intelligence resolves problems, consciousness brings it to raise problems. Consciousness of human beings, they are beings that produce problems, and they cannot, okay? So, and you cannot be only, that's one social reality. The augmented reality, or reality that brings you and plus, say, artificial intelligence who, suppose you're a doctor and patient, that's the project, okay? And you don't need to know all the details of, you have like small object that you need to cut and then to cut twice, or whatever. And you have behind you artificial intelligence who says, well, make it left, make it right, make it left, make it something, who helps you. It happened like if you're a rookie and a senior professor helps you to do the coordination of your operation. So this is reality. One human being and one artificial intelligence that augment, empower your abilities to do something. And here is another thing. But when you do not see artificial intelligence products or whatever, you're sitting alone, like I'm sitting alone now. You're together with other colleagues over there, but I'm sitting alone here, and somehow I am related to you. And it's one reality, but then it will be reality when the recorded presentation will be, say, watching by other people who, you know, so when they will start not to look from the very beginning to the very end, but some this is another reality, okay? So is it the word reality the right one? I don't know. That's why, you know, I am encouraging people who are in the social sciences business to look in theoretical, conceptual, methodological foundations to find out the basis for research, as well as to find out where to address, what to measure, you know, in the reality of human-machine interactions, like a simple one. What to measure? To measure my temperature, to measure what? Or to measure my, and specifically, if I am the age of, like when you're 12, and when you're 22, or when you're 82. So, and you will conduct it. That's the same reality, I doubt. Because again, it's again cultural and biological differences and brings into the real world. I'm not sure that, but that's how I think, how I address your question.
Okay, Professor, we have to stop you right now, so I have to make a conclusion because it's about time. Okay, I think Professor Reza's speech is very enlightening. We have very good discussion, and the relationship between artificial intelligence and human beings become a new problem, also a very important problem we must face. And as a social scientist, we all not only to pay attention to, but have to do the research. So I have to stop here right now. So I hope, next time you can visit to Taipei.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was my pleasure was mutual, really.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I wish you the conferences continue. So, and I believe you will have a great conference. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Do you want to talk?
No, that's okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
马上离开，马上算。好，另外走到给阿 Sir。OK，谢谢。